What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about Hazard Zone and the fact that it could already be dying, if not dead, due to some of the missing features in the game. Whether you guys have played much Hazard Zone or not, I'm sure everyone knows the general idea of the mode and roughly what it's about, and although it did look pretty promising from the trailers and all that, I do have some concerns that it is already being forgotten about by the large majority of the player base. Before we get into it though, if you guys are new to the channel and you end up enjoying the video, then do consider subscribing and turning on those notifications so that you don't miss out on any upcoming 2042 content. But with that being said, let's get stuck right into it. So from my playtime so far in Hazard Zone, what I will say is that I really enjoyed the gameplay loop of the mode itself. Each individual match was a lot of fun and I've pretty much enjoyed every single game that I've played so far. But despite that, I'm personally feeling way more excited to play All Out Warfare and Portal than I am to play Hazard Zone. Now maybe this is just because it is still early in the game's lifespan. Obviously I want to level up and get all those weapons and attachments unlocked, so maybe once I've got some better weapons then I'll feel a little bit more enticed to play Hazard Zone. But yeah, right now I honestly do feel no draw to play the game mode. The thing is, however, it doesn't seem to be just me that's feeling that way. Pretty much anyone that I know who's played the game hasn't said a single word about Hazard Zone since launch. I've heard so many of my friends and other creators talking about how much Chaos Breakthrough is and what conquest maps are their favorite and all that kind of stuff, yet I've really not heard that many discussions about Hazard Zone, and it definitely makes the mode feel as though it's already dropping off. Now to some extent this was kind of expected. I guess they dropped all three of the main experiences at launch in All Out Warfare, Portal and Hazard Zone, and with All Out Warfare being the main mode and Portal being pretty much the most exciting part of the game for most people, obviously Hazard Zone was always going to be a little bit left behind and the writing was on the wall from the beginning. That said, however, I didn't really expect it to die down this early. Not that it's completely dead or anything like that. I want to make it clear that there's obviously still plenty of people playing it and enjoying it, but yeah, I just thought it might have made a little bit more of a wave in the community than it has, seeing as those more intense, exciting game modes have been so huge over the last couple of years, and I thought that Hazard Zone might scratch that itch for a lot of players. In my opinion, a big part of the reason it's not as popular as it could be is simply because they didn't make it free to play, and this is why a lot of people in the community, myself included, were kind of annoyed or I guess just disappointed that it wasn't free to play, because it would have unlocked the potential for the game so much more by opening it up to free to play gamers who in turn just keep the overall health of the player base in a better spot. Now with that being said, I don't necessarily think that making it free to play would just fix the problem right away. As much as I think it would help, the issue at hand is a little bit bigger than that in my opinion, and I think there needs to be some really big changes to the mode in order to keep it enticing enough to bring the players back. As I said earlier, the gameplay loop in itself is a lot of fun, and that's always the most important part really. If the mode isn't fun from the get-go, then no one's going to play it, but if the gameplay loop is fun and it's still not all that popular, then there are obviously some other elements that need changing. For me, the part that really needs to be looked at is to do with the dark market credit system, which they refer to as the metagame, and making that system a little bit more exciting and enticing for players so that we do actually feel like coming back and getting on the grind again. The way that it works right now, honestly, you can just win a single game or maybe 2 games of Hazard Zone, and at that point you are essentially set forever unless you just lose like 50 games in a row maybe. But if you're even remotely competent at the game, it just kind of feels like it is low risk, high reward. Like you kind of just don't even lose anything if you die, and for me that was pretty much the whole draw to the game from when they announced it, the fact that it was meant to be so intense and so pivotal that you extract successfully. Now what exactly they need to change, honestly I'm really not too sure. I don't know if maybe making things cost more would help, whether an extraction brings you less credits. I'm honestly not too sure what needs to be done specifically, but I just think there needs to be much more of a risk overall to each individual match, because yeah, right now it feels like it essentially doesn't matter at all if you die and lose the game. Another potential fix or improvement could be some sort of ranking system being added maybe in Season 1, similar to the ranking system in Apex or essentially any game with a ranking system, where the more games you win, the higher your rank goes, and it takes you into sort of harder and harder lobbies, and then when you lose a bunch and you get demoted, that means there are real consequences for losing games. They could also tie certain rewards or benefits to each season, so for example you could get these really exclusive skins or player card items or even weapon camos for each season. If you finish in the Diamond division you get really awesome rare looking skins, or if you finish way down in the Bronze division you only get some more basic ones, and again that just adds to the intensity and the importance of each game. If I'm playing playing Hazard Zone with the boys and there's, 3 days left in the season and I need 5 or 6 wins before then to reach the Diamond Division, obviously that's going to have me stressed out and I'm going to be on edge the whole time, sweating as hard as I can and trying to make sure I can finally secure that Diamond reward that I've always been trying to get in the previous seasons. Those moments right there are what makes video games addictive and exciting for a lot of people, and while sure, a lot of people, if not most people, probably prefer a casual, more laid-back experience, this mode was never meant to be casual. They said it themselves that it is an intense squad-based game mode. I just think that the way the game mode currently plays, there's really nothing that has me excited to play it, even though I know the actual matches themselves are good fun, but I just don't feel all that interested in playing it, and I really do want to feel interested in it because I love those intense games like Tarkov and Warzone and just any of those Battle Royale-esque experiences. I think Hazard Zone has a crazy amount of potential somewhere in there, and although it definitely isn't there right now, I hope that they do continue to work on it and evolve the mode over time, because like I said, I do think the mode has already dropped off in terms of the hype, and that is definitely not a good sign this early in the game's lifespan. I'm curious to know what you guys think of the mode at the moment though, so be sure to leave a comment down below and let us all know whether you're enjoying it, whether you disagree that it's dying off already, or even if you have any possible improvements for the mode yourself. If you enjoyed the video, then be sure to leave a like down below, and if you are new, then consider subscribing to the channel with those notifications on. If you guys want to support the content that I make here on YouTube, then consider becoming a channel member. But with that being said, thank you all very much for watching. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you all out there on the battlefield.